Gotta have a sense of humor, boy. Gotta have a sense of humor. It only happens when we come on air.
Mm-hmm. It's sabotage, I tell you. It's an anarchy.
Did you say it's an Oh, Lord. Anarchy.
That sounded really white, did it?
Yeah, it did. It really did. So,
It's some bull. Is that better?
Yeah, that was better. Welcome to the hood. But it only happens when we come on air. Nobody
They don't
else.
like us, bro.
Just us. But that's okay.
Treat us like a nappy head stepchild with red hair and a gold crack gold tooth. That's bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good. No, bro. You ain't even gonna put me in that category. I'm sorry. No, sir. I might agree with you most of the time when you say something. Not today.
Not
No. That was straight up hood.
On my own day?
On your own what?
On my own day?
Yeah, okay. On day. I thought you said something else.
No, on my own day.
Mm-hmm. That would be about right. What's happening, good people? Hope everybody's having a good day. A lot to talk about today. We're going to get it in. We brought it up yesterday, but it was not a full show. And today we want to talk more so. I guess more so that make this a full show. We'll bring up some other stuff, but I do want to start off because the more you get into this story, the more you see that some things just get worse when you find out more information. You hope there would be some information to make you feel better, but when there's a life loss, there ain't too much you can say to make you feel better. So what are you talking about, Gerod? We're talking about the Kyron Lacey story. And for those of you that are not aware of it, which honestly, I'm not surprised that there are folks that don't know who I'm talking about. When you think that there is a story or something that has happened that should be national news, I mean, it should be the top of everybody's news. Kyron Lacey deserves that conversation. It's starting to pick up steam. But the problem with this story is that it has to pick up steam. You get what I'm saying? It's starting to pick up steam. And that, to me, is a tragedy in itself. Not only the information about Kyron Lacey, which is a tragedy, but to hear that it has to pick up steam to get the just due that it has to get for being a story where folks have been misled. That's the part that gets to me. Am I wrong? I'm hoping that you all understand what I'm talking about. What is it about these young men? Well, let me rephrase that. About these young African American men, that we have to sit back and wait for somebody to tell us the truth about the issue of you losing your life, or the issue of you being framed for committing a crime. What is it? I mean, we continuously go through this year after year. And the worst part about it is the people that are supposedly supposed to be protecting you are the ones that end up being the ones that say, you see what happened? And then when it does pick up steam, the agency where the police seem to be complicit are quiet. Shh. Now, they just released some video about Kyron Lacey being involved. And if you don't know who Kyron Lacey is, I'm sorry. Maybe I need to start from the beginning. Kyron Lacey is a young African-American male who was stated to be in the cause of a traffic accident in Thibodeau, in that area, where there was a head-on collision, and one of the people involved in that collision was a 78-year-old male who died. And they charged Kyron Lacey in the case with this accident. They charged him with 3 different crimes, which I'm saying, wow. And supposedly his attorney went to look at the evidence that was found and found that he was 72 yards away from this as he was being charged as causing this deadly crash. So they got video evidence that he did not cause the crash. But now they're going far, deep into the incident, because one of the state troopers who has it on body cam is that he's trying to take the word of some guy that was standing on the highway that said he witnessed the whole thing and said that this green Charger was the one that caused the accident. But it was proven that Kyron Lacey was not the cause of this accident. Now the NAACP is getting involved, the national or the state, I'd say the state NAACP, and calling for the resignation of the colonel from the state police. The video released during an interview with Lacey on Homa TV showed the vehicle passing the crash moments after 2 other cars had collided, which was a different narrative from what the state police initially reported. Kyron Lacey's attorney, who is Mr. Ori, Attorney Ori, has data that shows that Lacey was over 70 yards behind the vehicle involved in the crash at the time of impact. And in quotes here, it says, "Nowhere is here does it say anything about you guys just saw on body cam," Ori said. Collins said the lack of commitments or comments following the new video speaks volumes, considering the promising player was publicly scrutinized. So can you imagine a young man in his early 20s being charged or accused of negligent homicide and being put on every national sports program, news program all across the country, with people on social media beating him down, calling him everything but a child of God? And then to find out that you're getting ready to be arrested and charged with negligent homicide, felony hit and run, and reckless operation of a vehicle for the crash on Highway 20. Because misinformation, again, was given on you. Lacey turned himself into Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office and was released after posting a $151,000 bond. This young man had the burden of carrying this around, and most of all, probably could not handle it. We can imagine what was going through his head. But he was found dead in Houston and appeared to be suffering from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The problem with this story is that before you blame this young man, did you have all the evidence? You may have had so-called witnesses, but did you go around and find the footage that Attorney Ori found to let everybody know that he didn't cause this accident? Did you ask the man who said he saw it question after question, or did you just go by what you saw on body cam on the side of the road? And then how does the state trooper play in this as he's talking to other folks to say, write down what you saw and don't forget to put the green Charger in the report? And they're like, what? Don't forget to put the green Charger in the report. He's telling them this, which could be considered coercion. I always try to look at a situation and say, these are the facts, and this is the information that's been placed in the hands of those to make a decision. Well, who else is involved? The DA, the state trooper, and all those that have made this a blame game toward this young man who played for LSU. All he wanted to do was play ball and be happy. But now he's dead. And now they're coming back and saying, that was not the truth. That did not happen right. He did not cause this accident. But no matter if they say this now, my question for both sides, what took y'all so long? This happened in 2024. Why are we over 10 months into another year and this young man is dead because he couldn't bear the scrutiny that he was getting for an accident that he may not have even caused? That's one thing that bothers me. The other part of this, as much as we talk bad about social media and all the things that go wrong with social media and why social media should be, I could say in this case, I am glad that there is social media because this has been shared so many times. Don't cost you a thing, because regular media, to me, did a disservice to this young man and this story. Why? Because he had to bear all that information, all that, and he's telling his mom and everybody else, how come nobody believes me when I say I didn't do this? And what could his mom tell him? Just have faith in God. The truth will come out. But what do you do? What do you do if this happens to someone you know? Because every year, it seems like something is happening to young black men, or should I just say black men, on the road by themselves every single time. Something's happening to them. You're either getting blamed for something or you in some type of skirmish with law enforcement. And law enforcement usually is the blame for a lot of it, and they cover it up. I don't mean that I'm blaming law enforcement for every little thing that happens on the road, but the ones that we discover later, and notice what I said, discover later, there seems to be some type of malfeasance. There seems to be some type of misunderstanding. There seems to be some type of cover-up, coercion. Why is that? Why is that? Y'all think about that for a minute. And where is the person that caused the accident? Hello? Can you all hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Where's the person? They quiet too. Shh. Who was it? We have drilled this little boy to death. I call him little boy because he's a young boy, a young man. No disrespect. We put his name out there all over the world. We ain't telling nobody who this was. Hell, we didn't even start putting out the fact that they're looking to ask the colonel of the troopers, the state police, asking him to resign. The NAACP done already put out a message saying, we need you to resign because of this. What y'all think about this? Are you aware? And it scares me that you all are quiet. The outrage should have just had me to come in here today and just sit down and answer the phone, one call after the other. But I don't blame y'all. This is what I blame. Because the majority of you, and don't be afraid to say this. Don't be afraid to say it. Y'all know I'm ignorant every once in a while, but don't be afraid to tell me if you're just learning about this case. Or you can call me up and say, what happened? I haven't heard it. It is not on y'all. That's not on y'all. That's on the media. I think the media kept it quiet until now. This is 10 months old. Now everybody jumping on the bandwagon and saying, what? We can't believe this breaking news. This ain't breaking news. Do y'all understand how long they have been digging in this young man's future? I mean, think about something. He's ready as an LSU wide receiver to go to the NFL. This happens, and he doesn't even get invited to the college combine. Wow. We'll take a break here. We'll take some telephone calls. Everybody and their mama should be calling me and talking about this case. If you don't know, we'll tell you more about it. We'll even have some audio for you to hear in just a bit. Everybody hold tight. More coming up in a minute right here on The Reality Check.
Hey, this is D. Riley from the 90s Hits R&B Jams. Make sure you listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday night from 7 until 9 p.m. I'll be giving you the best R&B jams from the 90s. That's right, all your favorites and more with me, D. Riley, your host of the 90s Hits, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or listen online at WBOK1230.com. WBOK, the station you listen to longer.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
It's a family affair at the Gentilly Fest, October 10th through 12th. Located in Punta Train Park, 5701 Press Drive. Admission is free. Get your Gentilly Fest VIP experience, including complimentary food, drink, seating near the stage, and a parking pass. Tasty, delicious food, art, and crafts. With host Malik Mingo. Live music from Frank Richard of Chocolate Milk, James Andrews, Ladies of Soul, Michelle Cook, Naja Kojo, and Sharon Martin. DJ Captain Chicky Charles, and the one and only 803 Fresh. Boots on the ground. For more information, visit GentillyFestival.com. Sponsored by Louisiana Feed Your Soul and NOTCL.
Parents, mark your calendars. Benjamin Franklin High School invites you to their open house Thursday, October 30th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Katherine Johnson campus. Discover why Franklin is a state leader in Ivy League admissions, with 90% of students earning college credit, over 50 clubs, and more than 40 electives to choose from. Come see how Franklin has been fostering futures since 1957. Don't miss it. Benjamin Franklin High School's open house, October 30th, 5 to 7 p.m. Learn more at bfhsla.org.
New Orleans is at a crossroad. We must force a runoff to protect our culture. A vote for Frank Janusa has a multiplier effect that can make it happen. Even Frank's opponents respect his ability to fix the city's budget.
You're going to hire Mr. Janusa to go out there and get that money to close whatever the budget gap is.
If I get in there, I'm going to tell you, one of the first people I'm going to call is going to be Mr. Frank Janusa to help me with these numbers.
Together, we can deliver economic opportunity for all. Let's restore New Orleans as the Queen City of the South, paid for by the Frank Janusa mayoral campaign.
After 28 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, Calvin Duncan established his innocence in a court of law. But Darren Lombard doesn't care about justice. He teamed up with Jeff Landry's attorney general to attack Calvin. They even sued him to stop him from talking about his innocence. According to Landry and Lombard, even if you're judged innocent, you're still guilty. Let's send Landry and Lombard a message. Vote number 7, Calvin Duncan.
Paid for by Calvin for clerk.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm getting folks texting me saying, like, you really sound like you're upset. I am. Do I sound that way? I do sound that way? Okay. I just don't think that I could be the bearer of this type of news to just anybody, to let everybody know. You know, this young man in his prime was getting, he didn't even start living yet. And now I'm starting to hear all of the folks in these different in these different podcasts, TikToks, I don't know. Am I speechless today? Yeah. And I'm trying to see how you feel about this more so than anything. Did this break your heart? Did this make you mad? Did this make you go, you got to be kidding me? Even the NAACP is now asking for the state police, the head of the state police, the colonel, to resign. I'm trying to get the state president for the NAACP on the phone. I sent him a text message. I want his comments today. I would like to know What are you getting from this? I mean, are you getting any comments from this? Has the governor said anything? What about, instead of being worried about the damn National Guard going to 3 different parishes in the state of Louisiana, what about the National Guard coming to do something about this type of injustice? You want to say we got injustices here with crime. Ain't this a crime? Ain't this a crime? We're hearing too much of this. It seems like every year we got something of this sort happening again. Huh? What you mean? All of it? I'm talking to Wick at the same time.
It's choppy, sir.
So I got to talk for the next 2.5 hours?
Yeah, you got to talk.
With no breaks?
No, I'm talking about the audio you sent me. The clip to play?
The what?
The clip that you just sent me to play.
Oh, you can't play that?
I can't play it.
Why not?
Because remember how we was getting up funky, but that same thing here. Even though I rebooted and everything, my sir.
Are you kidding me? That was just the first one. I had about 20 more. I did research on this. They didn't want me to talk about this either.
It's all for naught. Ain't my fault.
That's it. I quit. I'm out. Are you kidding me?
Nope. Do I look like I'm playing?
Yeah, you do. You really do. You look like something wrong with you. I'm just saying. But no, it can't. Not one time. So all the comments and stuff that I got for you to play, nothing. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Ain't your fault.
Ain't my fault.
Nope. Ooh.
I knew you want to say that.
Ain't my fault. Ooh, it ain't my fault. I really do think that somebody sabotages this show. But that don't mean I'm going to stop it. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop talking about this story. Yesterday, Tandra, let me tell you what I did so that you'll know, just like everybody else. I try to not say everything, but hell, everything else is messed up, so I might as well tell you this too. I sent a direct message and talked to his secretary on yesterday. I'm talking about Attorney Ori, who is the attorney who is representing the Lacey family. He was the one that requested the video. He's also doing the investigation where he found video from another establishment of the accident. And since he found all of that, I called him. I did find out that there are many news agencies that are calling him also, so I'm in line. I told her that if she had any heart, to go ahead on and skip me in front of a couple of folks since I'm right down the street. So, Tandra, you right. I tried to call his lawyer. So that's what I did. All right. Hey, Ron. Hey, Ron. Hello?
You can hear me?
There you go. I was going to holler sabotage again, I guess. But he forgot to click the button.
You already know.
What's
First,
happening?
shouts out to the Fatherhood Round Table as well as the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. Let's start from the point of origin. From that game when the coach of LSU, when he told the brother he was uncoachable, that single moment right there put a target on that brother's back, right? Along with being black and what they call the United Snakes of America. Now, as far as the governor. Let's remember, he was the attorney general when Ronald Greene was lynched by the Louisiana State Pig Department, and who sat quietly You know, the same way him and Liz Morrell running around, you know, constantly in New Orleans doing this and doing that. Both of them clowns sat quietly for that case right there. And also under a Democratic governor who lied to my Miss Mona, Ronald Green's mother, and said that her son was killed because his car ran off the interstate and ran into the tree. So I mean, you know, the game don't change. You know what I'm saying? Only the character. And you know what's crazy is that I sit back and I know Mama Mona personally. You know, I sit back and watch this lady, you know, struggle. You dig? And the officer who killed her son, well, one of them, his wife, the one who killed himself, his wife is living off his paycheck like $1,400 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I checked, insurance companies are not supposed to cover, or they claim they don't cover suicide. So I mean, you know, I'm really hoping that
I think that's his pension. To living off his pension.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Not his insurance, but his pension.
Whatever it is, Miss Mona should have got that. The wife shouldn't be living off of things like that, especially when her husband did the atrocious act that he did, and he was one of the main ones. As a matter of fact, each and every last one of those officers got off. And these the same people that were supposed to be so-called protecting us. Because remember, as soon as the video came out 2 years later, you know, we talking about 10 months, this video was leaked 2 years later, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what they did, they put a black man up in the office to save face, but as soon as the case became closed, what they did, they made him resign and made him retire, which is why we have what we have right now, you know? So, as a matter of fact, even with the Caleb Wilson, just to give you an idea on how we so messed up as a community, you know, when the Caleb Wilson situation happened, you know, I told you on the radio that the sororities had sent out a letter saying they didn't want none of the fraternities and sororities talking about the situation. A sister called as soon as I hung up, there was no letter sent. But I'm glad I sent you the letter that was sent out to the leadership. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean that's why, you know, anytime there's a altercation or a situation between us and I mean black people in America, right? And dealing with the police, the first thing our people say is what did we do wrong, as if the police is always right. So that's why the phones are not ringing off the line. But I guarantee if you was talking about some foolishness, right, not to say that you do be talking about foolishness, I'm just using that as an example, the phone lines would be jam-packed. But it just shows you the disconnect and why we as a community and as a people are in the current predicament that we are in, because we constantly wait for other people to tell us when we're supposed to react and do this and go over here, park the car there, do this, sit down right here.
So you think folks scared to talk about this or what? Because, I mean, his mom not, that the attorney's not. What everybody scared of?
Because they don't want to, some of our people, G, are comfortable in a certain class they are in. They don't want to say nothing because of their prestigious school they go to, or because they prestigious background, or because of their prestigious job. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing what happened in the civil rights era.
I know. I heard the LSU coach. He did say that, you know, we're just going to wait until we hear the full story. Which I thought was always. I hate to say it this way, but it is true. It sounds like a cop out.
All the time. I mean, think about the little brother who just had surgery, and the daddy, Mr. Brooks, whose son I forgot his son name, Lil Brooks. He had the surgeon who was in a wheelchair, and the coach ain't called her daddy yet. So that should give you an example of how much the coach really cared. Matter of fact, let's not forget where the coach come from. The coach left in the middle of the night from Notre Dame, ain't told none of his students who he so-called claimed he loved with everything in them, ain't told him he was leaving the night, left in the middle of the night. Yeah. And sent them a text when he came here to Louisiana.
Yeah.
So I mean, man, these the type of people, you know, that we put our trust in, because, you know, some of us are ignorant to the fact and have been ignorant, like I was getting ready to say, with the civil rights movement. The reason why it went like that, because when some of us went down there to go fight, a lot of us left with jobs. And that's why it went the way it went. So, you know, these people, COINTELPRO, never went nowhere. They only evolved.
Okay.
You did?
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, hey, Ron,
right,
let me get
brother.
these other calls. Everybody holding on.
Yeah,
I appreciate
right.
you, my brother, always.
Later.
All right. Galloway.
Good evening, Brother Gerod. How you doing?
Good, Doctor. How you doing?
Hey, the Lacey situation. and I do have to agree with Brother A.A. Ron. This does remind me of the Ronald Green situation, how the state trooper, and I'm so glad these videos are coming out, how that state trooper coerced. It was another black man. You can see in that video of making sure you put in there, you had to slam on the brakes and so avoid the charges.
Right.
All this stuff is in the play in the plan. But you know who I'm just 38 hot on?
What's that?
And the media. WDSU, WGNO, WLT, whatever, the Baton Rouge Advocate. Lacey wasn't even mugshotted yet. They ran all those stories. Do you know it took them 3 days after social media got a hold of this story? It took them 3 days before they said anything. Now, before this man was even charged with anything, they already had this man mugshot, had his life story, his third grade report card, everything wrong about him. I blame them. You go this 38 weeks ago. You go and you look at Lacey's name, the comments, mainly from LSU fans. Oh, he gonna be with Henry Ruggs. You know, Henry Ruggs, the Raiders athlete, was driving, and he actually killed somebody.
Right.
He was found guilty. They was like, oh, they're gonna be in jail together. You know, usual suspects, the N-words, all this stuff that them folks had said. Now you cannot get none of them to retract anything. And I do applaud the NAACP and the Congressional Black Caucus of Louisiana for asking for investigation.
Yes.
But you cannot investigate yourself.
Right.
Where you going to get an independent organization in Louisiana from that is not going to be willing to do the biting of the law enforcement? That's the problem we have. These folks are scared to go up against the law and say, you know what? Your cop coerced a witness. Now the video is out. That cop is wrong. They gonna listen. That cop is gonna have qualified immunity. Ain't nothing gonna happen to him. The coach from LSU, you need to be fired. I don't know how a young black man can go up there and play for LSU right now after that coach made that statement. That's letting you know he does not care about you. Telling somebody we're gonna wait till everything come out. You see it. He said, I'm watching it just like you watching it. If you watching it like everybody else is watching, that man call was nowhere near it. But when you find some docile black people, they will say and do anything. Who's to say that man that he coerced into that statement, they didn't pay him,
right?
Or he was getting something in return? We gonna let you slide. You never know with these people. But I know one thing: that man was vilified for no reason. Everybody threw that young man away. It was a very few people said it just ain't right. But when you believe everything the police says, a bad cop can destroy the reputation of a whole organization. It happened in Ronald Green's case, and it's happening here now. I hope that this family can get some type of justice, so that young man should be playing in the NFL now.
That's exactly right. I just text probably like 30 minutes ago Mike Callahan, who is the president of the state NAACP, because I want him to make the statement on the air that they're putting out too. And I'm getting someone to I'm gonna get Callahan to get somebody from the Black Caucus to also call us and give the information. I'm just waiting for him to call me back. I know they're doing some meetings right now, so I'm hoping that he'll get us before the end of the show.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: I'm only gonna listen to the black press and the black radio stations, because I'm so disappointed. Not disappointed. I'm upset. I'm angry at all these newspapers that put this man out there as some demon, some villain. He hit a 78-year-old man and didn't stop. All this other stuff that they put out there.
It ruined his whole life. It ruined his whole life.
Yeah, and Brother Gerod, I tell people all the time, I know I have to live with killing folks. I've killed people in war. And now I can only imagine what this young man who's probably never heard a fly was feeling. One day you on top of the world at LSU, the next week you at the bottom of the barrel as a killer.
He didn't even get invited to the combine.
To the combine. They took him off of everything.
Right.
The coach, the staff at LSU, shame on all of y'all. I'm telling you right now. So when y'all come recruiting down in New Orleans and everywhere else, y'all need to ask them, are you going to treat my son like you treated Lacey?
Exactly.
Are you going to believe the lies?
Yep.
Send your kids somewhere else.
Yep. You're right. All right,
thank
Galloway.
you, brother. Taking my
I
call.
appreciate you, boss.
All right.
All right. You want to take the break real quick? Because I got the attorney on the phone, and I want the attorney to take her time and explain what's going on here from the legal side and give us some type of attitude. Coming up, Attorney Suzette Bank-Naris. Everybody hold tight.
I'm David Patan Sr., owner of Whole Water and Food Over Medicine Academy, coach, consultant, and instructor. We're excited about our 21-day challenge. Stop, prevent, and reverse disease today. Cholesterol, diabetes type 2, high blood pressure, along with chronic illnesses and diseases. We believe that the gift of wellness is the greatest gift, and for $30 per month, $1 a day, you could have this gift for you and your family.
I'm Phyllis Washington, and I've benefited with health and weight loss.
For your gift of $30, healing and wellness can be yours. Call 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. The Whole Water Store. See you at 2135 Washington Avenue today.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
The NAACP New Orleans branch invites you to our 2025 Freedom Fund Banquet and Award Ceremony, a night to uplift and celebrate. Join us Saturday, November 1st from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Xavier University's Center Grand Ballroom. Through your support, dollars fund scholarships, youth programs, and vital community projects. It's keeping the struggle to preserve civil rights current and vigorous. For tickets and information, call 504-460-7765.
Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
When you talk, we listen. WBOK. Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Can you hear the words? Good Lord. Are you kidding?
I swear something took over this boy. It's possessed.
I'm telling you, man, this is
like now we back on the air.
I know that, but this is unbelievable. I'm getting sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Wait, how did Bugs Bunny say it? Sabotagey.
Suzette? Can she hear me now? Suzette?
We can hear you. We can
Whoa,
hear you.
there she is. I've been talking to you for the last 30 seconds.
Wow. I mean, they really don't want you to talk about
They
this
do not
on
want
air
us to
today.
talk about this at all. So I think, now I'm going to say it again, because you know I call myself the president of the conspiracy theory. When we talk about certain things that they don't want us to talk about, I think we get hacked.
Look, I completely believe that because this is a very important topic, and it looks like whenever we're doubling down on things that, really need to be discussed, there seems to be some problem with air transmission. So I don't know, but I'm starting to agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm happy you're talking about this today. I mean, this is the buzz all over social media. 35 million posts have been made about this situation in the last few days. From many black Louisianians and many in the black community nationwide, the way that Kyron Lacey was portrayed after the crash fits into a larger pattern of law enforcement and media quickly painting a young black man as reckless, guilty, and dangerous before all the facts are explored. So the release of new evidence showing he may have been 70 yards behind the crash raises questions about whether he was prematurely criminalized. And to the black community, it just reinforces the fear that our sons can be judged and condemned in the public eye before they've even had a chance to defend themselves. So, I mean, you have Lacey, just 24 years old, on the cusp of the NFL, carrying both the hopes of his family and the weight, of public condemnation at the same time. Facing charges, headlines, and the machinery of a justice system that's not built for us, he ultimately took his own life. So for many in the black community, that speaks to how crushing the justice system can be. Not just the legal battle, but the reputational damage, the isolation, the mental health burden.
But I did think about something else too, though, and when you say this part, and that is the fact that the criminalization of where he was probably mentally, he was 2 days from having to go to court to take on a charge. But remember, he had already turned himself in to take those charges after the DA, the police, and everybody was looking for him to say, hey, you have been put forth before this grand jury, and you have a $151,000 bond. Now, they got him out, but it was the fact that he was 2 days away from having to go back to court.
And the DA is doubling down today. Like, she released a statement today saying that she found nothing wrong with, him leading towards indictment. She found nothing wrong with that. She's still saying he had some involvement despite the video evidence. It's just the conflicting
so is the Louisiana
narrative.
police. So is the state police. They are saying that he had some involvement in it. But I'm like, wait a minute. He didn't do it. I don't care if he was get him for speeding and passing someone in a double line or something of that sort, but he didn't cause the accident.
Look, the conflicting narratives, the state police saying one thing, the defense evidence showing another, mirror a long history of distrust that black communities and Louisiana law enforcement have with each other.
Now,
and when evidence emerges suggesting the initial accusations and the initial portrayal by the DA and by the media were wrong, instead of just admitting that they may have been wrong, that the accusations may have been overstated, it doesn't affect just this one case. I mean, it just reinforces our skepticism, and they're handling it all wrong. The DA and the media need to admit they got this one wrong, and they need to apologize to the Lacey family. It won't bring their son back, but continuing to smear his character in the media and in the justice system when it is clear that this young man did not cause this accident, this death. It's just, it's unconscionable.
So one of the things too that I wanted to bring up, and I was trying to find the right time to bring it up, but maybe this would be just as clear to some folks, and that is DMV laws. Aren't DMV laws stating that you are not supposed to be a driver on highways after the age of 75? Is it 75?
I'm not sure about that, G. I'm going to have to look that up.
And the reason why is
I had
because
no
I'm thinking
idea if there was a law.
I do think that there is some type of law that at some point in time your license should be taken from you. I'm not sure what that age is, but this man was 78. So did he swerve? Did the person?
Well, I don't think there's no state, including Louisiana, that automatically prohibits driving after age 75. I don't think age alone is a disqualifier.
Mm-hmm.
In every state, I think you can keep driving past age 75, 80, or even 90 as long as you pass the renewal requirements.
Okay.
But, there are renewal requirements, and every driver does have to meet them. And many states shorten the renewal period for older drivers, often starting at 70 or 75. For example, in Louisiana, drivers age 70 and older must renew their license in person every 4 years and pass a vision test.
Okay.
So they do make them come in more frequently to renew their driver's license, so they can, they can see for themselves whether or not they meet the requirements.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know. I just thought it was that at some point in time that you have to suspend your license when you get to a certain age. I thought it was, but evidently not.
No, I'm not aware of that. I just know that they have shorter renewal intervals starting at age 70.
But no matter what we look at, the video shows that this young man was not involved in that head-on collision. Now,
no, he was many yards away.
Right. I think they said 72 yards away from it. And if I think about this, and I'm looking at that video of this trooper's body cam, he's now trying to find people that can speak on behalf of the victims. And he's talking to this man, and he says, don't forget to include the green Charger. And he says it more than once to this man. He wants to write down a statement. I'm like, ain't that like coercion? You're supposed to just ask the man, tell me what you saw. But you're telling him in the statement, don't forget to put in there about the green Charger. And I think the man kind of read the state trooper and saying that Charger wasn't in there.
Right. I mean, look, he seems to have been 72 yards behind where the crash had already occurred. That's what the video evidence is showing. So, I do think that there needs to be more investigation, and more people come forward who may know different facts that do help to protect Kyron Lacey. But qualified immunity does not protect government officials from liability for conduct that rises to gross negligence. So, we may see that there is going to be a lawsuit filed, and they may allege that this officer does not have qualified immunity under the facts of this case, based upon what the video is going to show.
And I think that NAACP, the state NAACP, is now asking for the colonel of the Louisiana State Police to resign.
Right.
I'm thinking to myself, I don't think that'll happen.
I think the battle in court is going to be over whether the official's actions fall into just an ordinary mistake category that would be covered by qualified immunity, or whether he acted grossly reckless and negligent, which is not covered by qualified immunity.
Which one are you thinking?
So, given that video, it doesn't look like it was a reasonable conclusion that Kyron was involved in that accident.
But what about
Sounds
the
like that officer
involvement?
has another agenda.
Now, what about the involvement as far as the state trooper is concerned? Will that give him any type of qualified immunity for him saying, "Don't forget to put the Charger in the report"?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I think that might have been a grossly negligent or worse, a comment motivated by something else. And they're going to have to explore that state trooper's background
Right.
to see what would have motivated him to give a false statement.
And why you got your video on if you want to give a false statement?
Right.
Well,
Right.
did you know that it was on?
Right.
So,
I mean, there's a lot to this to unpack. It's just very, very unfortunate. I feel for the Lacey family. You know, my heart goes out to them. You know, this young man from Thibodaux, Louisiana, was on the brink of, you know, the come up, the brink of an NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just very sad that all of this paints the picture of someone with real talent who steadily improved and was on a genuine NFL path before his whole life was derailed by what I consider to be gross negligence.
Yeah. Hold on, because I do have a couple more questions. Let me do my news real quick, because I got a couple more, and I got to talk to you when I got you. So hold on 1 minute. We'll be right back.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has signed an ICE-free zone order blocking federal immigration agents from using city-owned property like schools, libraries, and parks.
What we are seeing is a more radical attempt to undermine our democracy.
The move follows recent ICE raids and lets private businesses join a network protecting residents from warrantless operations. President Trump has reignited his feud with Reverend Al Sharpton, posting an old photo of him on Truth Social and calling for an investigation into why Sharpton still has a show. Trump blasted NBC and ABC as biased, urging the FCC to revoke their licenses and calling Sharpton's Politics Nation, quote, one of the lowest rated shows in history, end quote. In Black Baltimore, Maryland, Mayor Brandon Scott says the city is suing Moneylion Technologies, accusing the company of running a payday lending scheme. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. On the phone with us, the attorney extraordinaire, Suzette Bagnaris, on the phone with us. Suzette, thank you, number one, for getting involved in this conversation. But my question to you, with this case, this is something that has not just happened. This is a case that's been going on for the last, 8 to 10 months?
Yeah, this is not a new development. This is not breaking news. I think what is breaking news is the exposure that the police may have mishandled the investigation, may have falsified reports, or engaged in misconduct that contributed to Kyron's public vilification, his emotional distress, and his wrongful death. I think that's the new discovery. The new discovery is the mistakes.
But I'm looking at this and saying to myself, this seems to be a pattern with the Louisiana State Police. We can go through this case similar to the same thing with Ronald Green. Cover up.
Correct. You know, and I hate to tell you this, but this is happening all over the country. You know, this qualified immunity shield really protects a lot of law enforcement agencies from gross misconduct.
Mm-hmm.
And I fear that qualified immunity is going to be enhanced and made even stronger under the Trump administration to provide, license to be able to mistreat Black Americans. So this is where we are, you know. I really do hope that the Lacey family does indeed file a wrongful death lawsuit against law enforcement and state agencies. Based upon what I'm seeing in the video, it appears to show that the Louisiana State Police mishandled the investigation, possibly falsified reports, engaged in misconduct that contributed to this young man's death. And they would need to argue that the misconduct foreseeably contributed to his suicide. a difficult but not impossible standard if evidence shows overwhelming public pressure from wrongful accusations. If the state police or other officials violated his constitutional rights, such as due process, equal protection, by fabricating evidence or maliciously prosecuting him, the family could bring an action under Section 1983.
But that would be under the state police, but with the DA also being culpable in that?
The DA can also be held culpable for that. They also have immunity, but you can show here that the doubling down, I think, exposes them to civil liability.
Because what they're trying to do, I think right now, this is just my personal opinion. I'm not an attorney, and I don't try to play one on the radio. But what I am looking at is the fact that I think they're doubling down to make sure that they're not going to be in any lawsuit.
Oh, I'd go after them even more for doubling down. I mean, here you can have a claim for malicious prosecution or denial of a fair process if supported by proof of misstatements or suppression of exculpatory evidence. This video is clearly exculpatory evidence. So, I think that the doubling down would only make me want to fight harder. So we'll see what the family does, but I think there's more to be done here in memory of Kyron, and I hope that they do. Take it to the streets.
Right.
I mean, sometimes you just need to file it, and you just need to speak up, and you need to,
sometimes you need to
stand
do it
on business.
Sometimes you got to step out and show them.
Sometimes you got to do that, because if you don't, it will continue to happen. Okay, this time it happened to Kyron. Next time it could happen to your son.
Right.
So, so you need to think that way and proceed that way. Sometimes you just have to stand on business. So hopefully they will stand on business, and they'll file these state law claims that can be made against law enforcement and made against the DA for causing a foreseeable death. So, that's something they need to do.
Yeah.
And they also, with the Attorney General already reviewing the state police investigation findings, from that review could give the family strong leverage for civil claims if misconduct is substantiated. But I don't know what this Attorney General is going to do.
Because they're asking for the Attorney General to get involved in this now, right?
Correct. They are. And that possible federal oversight, could lead to something, but I don't know what this particular Attorney General, Louisiana Attorney General, is going to do. Given that this particular Louisiana Attorney General was appointed by Governor Landry, I don't have a lot of hope. I don't have a lot of hope that misconduct will be substantiated, but, I think they still need to go through the process.
Is this going to be long drawn out?
Oh, it's not going to happen in the short term. This could be a 3-year legal battle, a 2-year legal battle in federal court. Federal courts do move more swiftly than state courts do. Federal courts don't like to keep matters on the docket for over 2 years. So it will move more swiftly than, an ordinary lawsuit filed in state court.
Because I'm wondering, from a federal standpoint, are they now going to be looking at the state police being under some type of consent decree? But again, you're really looking on the federal level and saying that Trump doesn't like consent decrees.
Look, we're in a time where, let's just call it what it is. We're living in an anti-black time. Okay, we're living in a time when we're not getting a fair shake. We're living in a time where an already skewed justice system that was not built for us, meant for us, and never protected us is now even going farther to show us that we don't belong. So, it's crazy times. But that doesn't mean that you don't stop fighting. That doesn't mean that you don't stop making the case for what's right. So we need to just do what we're doing right now. Keep a close eye on it. Keep talking about it, because they want us to stop talking about it. The good thing that is helping them is that there are 35 million views and posts about this, internationally on social media. So with that kind of push, they do have a watchful eye on them. Maybe they'll do the right thing.
I'm surprised about the young lady that was supposedly involved in this, where she's saying that she's going to sue because her foot got broken. I'm surprised that she's involved in saying something about this, other than I am so sorry for the death of this young man because of this, and maybe even speak up to say, well, that was our fault, or this was the fault of the victim, instead of saying that she's trying to sue because of her foot, or saying that this was caused by, and we're sorry for the death of Kyron.
Look, two things can be true, and we keep saying this on your show. It is horrible that someone was killed in this accident.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It is horrible that occurred. But it can also be true that it is horrible what happened to Kyron Lacey.
Right.
We feel for Herman Hall and his family, the 78-year-old who was killed in this crash. We can feel for his family, but we can also feel for Kyron Lacey, who seems to have been wrongfully accused.
Yep.
So,
we'll just keep watching it.
Keep watching it. Keep talking about it. Keep the spotlight on them, and encourage the family to seek justice.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, there, Attorney Suzette Bagnaris, whoop, whoop, always laying it down for us. We're going to see you Friday too, right?
Hopefully, yes. Hopefully. I'm working on it. I'm moving some things around.
All right.
We're going to see what we can do.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Talk to
I
you
appreciate
later.
you.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Mr. Elmo.
Hey, man, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing? Wait.
Oh, pretty good. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I listened, and it's really a sad situation. I'm just asking because I'm not an attorney either. But if it's proven, if the state got no balls to prove this kid is innocent, and I don't think they will, because I think they're scared of getting sued, which I think they will that make it more easier for the family to get compensation?
No, I mean, this is going to be a long, drawn-out process, and it seems that everybody and all those parties that are involved in it are now sticking up and saying that they're going to stick with what they said. So this is going to be a long, drawn-out process.
Well, I listened to you earlier. I listened to one of the brothers who called you, and he made a comment how bogus that the coach is going to shoot is, and I'm not surprised because when he said that, it's amazing when you have a discussion and maybe your memory is very sharper than you think it is because you do remember things. So as he talked about it, I remember too. The national media, I don't know if you remember how much you follow the show, but the national media was laughing at the coach that came from Notre Dame because they're saying if he's a Southerner, I'm New Orleanian, I'm not a Southerner, but don't let the wife say that either. But again, what they were saying, how dare you? You're trying to talk like you're a Southerner, and you're not a Southerner. And they were laughing because he was trying to talk like he was in the South and he wasn't. And people in the show was even laughing at him too. But this goes to show you, you already had the job, so why you had to kiss you know what? To act like you're Southern when you ain't.
I don't know about that part. I'm not versed on that one. On that
Yeah, well, that was the case. He, the national media, because the national media was laughing. They said it's comical. He got the job out of the shoe, and he's trying to talk like he's a Southerner, which he's far from being a Southerner. But I guess maybe he feels he gets endearment by those yahoos at Baton Rouge that make people think he's a Southerner. Nothing wrong with being a Southern, talk Southern, or with a Southern draw. I don't. But just go to show you what them lengths that people will go.
Okay. Well, I'm not versed on it, but how somebody talk, I done heard plenty of people. I've gotten to the southern part of it and saying some things, and you think I'm from New Orleans every once in a while. So,
well, I told you that. I mean,
yep. So, it is what it is. All right, Mr. Elmore, let me take these other calls. Appreciate you, my boss. All right. Hey, Miss Belinda Parker Brown.
Hey, Gerard.
What's happening?
Oh, my goodness. Gerard, hello?
Yes, ma'am.
This is an overwhelming grave miscarriage of justice, Gerard. And I'm just happy to know that you can bring these type of discussions to the show on WBOK, and that we're listening. But it's just my blood is boiling because when we think about what's worse is that the long drawn out process. That's worse than anything. I went to jail for something that I did not do. That's the reason why I'm very passionate about the work that I do, Gerard.
Mm-hmm.
But to be accused of something that you didn't do, like this young man, I'm going to tell you, if you have never walked in those shoes, you don't know the feeling. I know the feeling, okay? I know what it feels like to be accused of something that you did not do. And then you got these powerful people, so-called powerful people that's wicked and evil and corrupt. And all they want to do is cover up their dirt. And so I just want you to know, I want you to write this word down because our people are suffering from something that the white people, it's this word I got on here. And the word is, I'm going to spell it for you, Gerard, because I want you to know. It's Drapetomania. Drapetomania. I want you to go and look that word up because what it meant was that, people that was on the plantations, okay, that was afraid. They would walk around and hold their head down. They was afraid to fight for their freedom. And this what's been going on here in the state of Louisiana. It's a disgrace for people to be suffering from this Drapetomania, and that, it's a mental illness that people are suffering from. Because how much more can we take, Gerard? How much, after Ronald Green, how much more can we take to let these people think on, they can keep on covering up these type of crimes? And you're right, it is a crime. Thank you, Gerard, for allowing me the opportunity to speak. And I got Mr. BM on here, and I want to see if he have anything to say, because I want the whole world to know that we are fed up with this type of treatment. We are fed up with it.
All right.
BM, open up your mic.
Yes. To elaborate on that Drapetomania, yes, that was something that our race had to encounter with, dealing with the plantation and the deprivation of our rights. So yes, Drapetomania. Y'all need to look into that word right there, and it's a lot of history about it, and it's dealing with Louisiana and how they conducted and did acts that violated certain statutes and certain laws from these judges, lawyers, police officers, officials that they swore oath to uphold. So just please look into that, and it'll open your eyes to a lot of things, and let's keep moving forward to try to keep our eyes open on what they got going on, and don't stop fighting.
All right. I got some other folks that are hanging on the phone, so I got to get to the other folks here that are hanging on to the phone, but I got you. I appreciate you very much, y'all.
All right, buddy.
All right,
We're going to
talk to you
have
in a
a
minute.
press conference on the City Hall steps Thursday morning at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, Thursday morning, City Hall.
Thursday morning, 9 o'clock on City Hall steps. I want everybody, come one, come all, and stand together and speak against this type of injustice.
Got it. All right. Thank you again. Thank you, Belinda. Appreciate you.
All right.
Love you,
All
love
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Love
Joining
you.
us now, we got the president of the state NAACP, who has made a statement about this issue with Kyron Lacy and making sure that we all know that there are some things that some folks are not going to stand with. Join us now, Mr. Mike McClanahan's on the phone, which is Mr. McClanahan.
Hey, Doc, how you doing today?
Good. I'm sorry I'm texting you and I know you're busy and got you on hold and all this other stuff going on here, but I appreciate you for picking up the phone. And what in the world are we going through right now with this case? And tell me what's the NAACP stance.
Well, we're going through what you call withdrawals, looks like, because, you would hope in the day and time and under technology that, especially dealing with law enforcement, once you have something tragic like this, that we've gotten to the bottom, at least we still ain't operating off the top, skimming the top of it. And now, and a year later, or however long it's been, now we're getting newly discovered evidence. Is that really discovered evidence? But I can tell you, the NAACP, we've been out here fighting LA State Police, Louisiana State Police for years. Mm-hmm. We still have in our mind, when the Ronald Green matter, we still have fresh in our minds, Aaron Bowman matter. We still have those things fresh in our minds. Mm-hmm. And so now you have this that comes up that's dealing with the same entity as the state police. So we have very little confidence and faith in the state police, which is supposed to be our premier law enforcement agency.
Well, one of the questions that I had is the fact that when we have issues that are coming up with state police, what bothers me is the fact that if an investigation is called, it's the police investigating the police. Are we not sitting up here asking for a higher entity or somebody else outside to do the investigation? Because it always ends up being the police investigating the police.
Right. The fox cannot guard the hen house.
Right.
Those of us that have very little trust, we know where this investigation will lead. We definitely do that. If it doesn't, like, what? Jesus must be on his way back tomorrow because no. That's not how the state police investigates. Mm-hmm. It's not how they do things. And so the public's trust, they don't care about the public's trust, obviously, if they continue to do the same thing that they've already done before, time in and time out. And so, I'm thinking like you, brother. What about the Citizen Review Board? That need to be tied into this too, right?
Right.
There need to be more than just police officers. There need to be other persons, man, who actually can see and look at evidence, because if it goes before a juror, those are not experts in the field. For the most part, they're just common citizens who answer the call of jury duty. So why can't we have something like that so that we can get to the bottom of it and people feel a whole lot better about the final outcome?
Mm-hmm. So I say the NAACP. I'm not talking about just you. I'm talking about NAACP.
Yeah.
It basically is saying now that you don't have any confidence in the Louisiana State Police because of this video or this incident that happened with Kyron Lacy. So you're asking the colonel to step down?
Oh yeah. Because from what we gather, we are fact-finding organization too. There are some stuff that's going on that's maybe criminal, that may be against rules and regulations, that might contaminate or taint the investigation. And so, if I look at this and you say a year later, this is what happens, this is some information I find, mm-hmm. Why wasn't it uncovered initially? Because the investigation was initiated by the state's premier law enforcement agency. And that now that everybody is stopping, pausing, and saying, wow, what do we have here? Because they didn't do due diligence. It seems as though they had it out for somebody that was driving a green Charger.
Right.
And so, you and I both know that stuff don't roll down, it rolls uphill.
Right.
So to have persons in your command, under your leadership, that do stuff like that, that's a bad reflection on you.
And even on the video, the body cam, the state policeman is telling one of the witnesses or alleged witnesses, write down what you saw and don't forget to put in there about that green Charger.
Yeah.
That's misleading. That's leading a witness on to, and he said it more than once, and that's leading a witness of a potential crime to basically change the narrative of a story that we saw was different.
Yeah.
So,
and
that's a crime in itself. I think that's a crime.
I do too. I said it earlier. I think it's a crime.
Yeah.
I think the persons that have anybody that has some type of authority, be it law enforcement or be it district attorney or a attorney general, needs to say this might be a crime. This is a potential crime.
Right.
And hold them accountable. If you want the community to believe that this is no longer business as usual, that this is a new day, and that we're really going to get to the bottom of what happened, you got to start right there. You start there. Say, all right, sir, if it looks bad, if it smells bad, sounds bad, it's probably what?
Yeah, it's
bad.
probably bad.
It's probably bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
And in order to get that out of our mind, in my mind, you have to do something different.
Yep.
Pull him, and we might start believing that this is going to be a new day.
So where are you going from here? I understand that you're asking for him to step down, but what's next?
Well, what we want to really do is kind of put some faith in people's mind and trust that things are going to be different. And it starts with the firing, stepping out of the colonel. I said everybody in leadership, because I just got some evidence, bruh, that it's tainted all the way through the top level of brass at the state police. I'm telling you, man, it's horrible.
You got to keep me up on this one. You got to keep me up on this one, because I think all of us get sick and tired of being sick and tired. So good enough.
I just got some evidence, man, that is tainted all the way through, at least at the first 2 or 3 levels of state police.
Right.
Hey, man.
Well, Mr. McClanahan, I appreciate you, number one, for being a part of this conversation, because we need to know. This is becoming a blow-up issue. So keep me updated. Let me know, because I know the NAACP ain't stopping until you get to the bottom of it.
That's right. So when we fight,
we win. There you go.
All right, brother.
Thank you again. I appreciate the call.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye. Mike McClanahan, the president of the NAACP state. There you go. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Anyone who started a business can tell you how difficult it can be to get the capital they need. But for black entrepreneurs, it's proven to be far more challenging. Based on research from Accenture, black founders receive only about 1% of funding from venture capital investors. That means there are very few venture capital-based startups with black leaders that end up successful. One exception is World Remit, founded by Ismail Ahmed. He's chairman of Britain's very first black-owned startup with a value of more than £1 billion. His advice to black entrepreneurs looking to gain capital? Stay positive.
Stay positive in the face of adversity. It's going to be a lot tougher to raise money, but I think you want to be persistent and recognize that we don't hear a lot of those stories, but a lot of successful stories.
A positive mental outlook might not solve everything, but it can help a black entrepreneur weather the storms that'll come when trying to get their business off the ground. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
The National World War II Museum, located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans. The National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Oh, Lord. You know I'm trying not to say that, right? You know I am. It's
I'm
killing
provoking
me
you.
not to.
I'm provoking you.
I know. I don't know why you keep doing me like that, bro. That's terrible. Shad, get me out of this before I say something. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I think I'm going to dig a little deeper into it. In reference to this situation, when it happened months ago, Brother Aaron and I called up Miss Mona to the listening audience. Miss Mona Harden is the mother of Mr. Ronald Green, who was killed by the state troopers, I believe, in Monroe, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on three-way. And Miss Mona was like, any way I can help this family, please let them know that, give them my information. Well, we didn't get in touch with the family, but what I did do that day, I rode to that attorney's office and I put them in touch with her. I don't know, I'm tuning in late today, but if you haven't talked to him or when you do talk to him, because this is going to be a big civil thing, and I personally believe that the two cases can help one another. And I just want to tell our listening audience, when you have a case with the state troopers, and I'm speaking from what I went through, it's your word against theirs, is your right and wrong, or right and wrong against their right and wrong. But their lab, for example, in my case, something that would have showed that the trooper did wrong, when it came back from their lab, the trooper's audio was gone, So nevertheless, they're not playing fair. But when you talk to that attorney that's based out of Homer, please, Gerod, if you could, let him know to talk to Ms. Mona, because him being an attorney and her attorneys, I believe both cases can help each other. And that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Cool then. All right, Shad. Thank you, brother. All right, Lamont.
Hey, G, how you doing?
What up, big money?
How y'all making out, man?
Oh, man, I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. That's all.
You already done, man. You already surpassed.
What's happening with you?
Don't this sound familiar?
Absolutely.
It opens up. Hold on, let me walk to the turnstile. It opens up a wound, a very disgusting wound for me, that this took place. My heart goes out to that young man and also the other gentleman who lost his life in the accident.
Hey, bro.
But
I hear PTSD coming out from you right now.
Man, gee, I'm about to cry. But what's more aggravating is the disgust that they will sit up there and lie on you. It plays with your mind and your mental that you have to deal with that every single day. That how could they lie on you every day? People, unless you be in our shoes and have them do you this way, you don't know what our minds go through.
Yeah.
What we think about doing maybe to ourselves or maybe to them to try to get some kind of retaliation. It makes you mad. It makes you upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's even more upsetting, you're gonna have some officers who gonna see nothing wrong with what the state trooper did.
Right.
Lied on this young man.
Yeah.
For absolutely nothing. And also, be careful also what you tell his lawyer. Be careful also the information that you share with the police department. Because even though the police department is investigating the police department, they always have one that's always going to be on the other side, that's playing on your side.
Mm-hmm.
But it is so aggravating and disgusting. All it did was open up a wound that was healed and closed for me. I'm so aggravated this young man lost his life behind a lie.
Yeah. Well, you mind if I say something about you?
No, go ahead.
For those that are listening right now, that are hearing Lamont talk, a lot of people may not know who this is, but of course I do, because I feel like I was also a big part of his life, or a big part of the time where you see and hear all this PTSD that is coming out right now. This is Lamont Williams, who was the streetcar uh, driver that went to the beach comber and went with his buddies over there just to play some pool and get something to eat, that was attacked by these cops that beat him and his friends up and then framed him and made him he was a victim, but it made him look like
we
he
went in
was.
there to rob the place.
Yeah.
Say that I had a gun on me. It's unbelievable, Gerard. It is unbelievable.
And they dropped a gun on you.
Dropped the charges and everything. They charged me anything.
Yeah.
Let me out of jail for free.
Yeah. And this was many years ago, but the sound of it, I think it just set you off to the fact where you just remember like it happened yesterday.
Happened yesterday. I told my good friend, said, man, all this is open up a wound, makes you mad, disgusted.
For somebody that did have to go through this, which you did, and so did two other your partners. One of them, I think, not here today because of an accident that happened with him. But you have got to be able to stay strong and be able to tell the family and anybody else that had to go through this, because you did. And I know you reliving it right now. I just need you to, right now, just know that we all want to hold you up, especially me. I want to hold you up too, because, you're a good dude. You really are a good dude. Can't nobody take that away from you. And don't let this issue open up that wound to you to make you just relive it again, because it'll never go away. But we know when something was done because something wrong was done to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
it's amazing.
If you think about it for a minute, Lamont, what do you tell this young man's family? Coming from you, what do you say?
G,
take your time. Just take your time.
I wish I knew him. I wish I knew him personally, and I could have sat down and talked to him and shared my story, and he could understand it is. Gee, oh man.
Take your time, Lamont. Take your time, man. We with you.
It's hard, bro. It's hard. It is 2025, and we still have to go through this. Here. Thank the Lord that they have video, because if not, this child would would go down on this child's on this young man's record forever. Nothing wouldn't be said.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing would have been brought to light. But to the Lacey family, please don't let this die. Please don't let it die down. Please don't. That young man deserved to be here. Whether or not, if he'd have made it to the NFL and got picked or whatever, he still deserved to still be here on this earth.
Right. Yeah. NFL can come later. That. We just need to know that his life was good.
His life was good. Life meant something.
Yeah.
But
well, let me switch gears with you. Other than this, bringing up this, and how you doing? How your family doing?
Everybody's good. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's good.
We still need to get together and have. We had a couple of meetings, but we still need to go ahead on and have our other meeting, bro. I was waiting for that lunch. I needed a pork chop, or something.
I got you, G. I got you. I'm making enough with the government. I got you.
Yes, indeed. But you're doing all right.
Yeah.
Don't let this define you, Lamont. Don't let this define you. I think many people that are hearing you right now.
Again.
Huh?
Got to heal myself again, G.
That's okay.
It's not trying to take anything away from the matter here, but it just makes you mad and disgusted
I
all
know.
over again.
This
Like you're
just
picking a
set you
stool.
off. This one just set you off. But I'm glad that you called me so I could talk to you so that you can also understand something, brother. There are a lot of folks that you may not know by name that know this story, and we're going to continuously talk about it just to make sure that everybody don't forget.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all we can
Keep
do
us
for
in
right
touch.
now.
Keep us in touch if they have something something out there in Thibodeau or Morse or anything or Raleigh.
I'll let you know.
I'm gonna make it my business to make it out there to that.
You will
to
know.
Support.
You will know. You will
Same
know.
way we all support second lines, everything.
There you go.
Everybody come on out there.
Yeah. Say, my brother, you keep strong.
Appreciate it, G.
You a lot of people depending on you. All right?
I got you, man. I got you.
All right, I'm going to call you.
All right, G.
All right, brother.
All right, take it easy.
Talk to you in a minute. Don. Don?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Good
How you
evening.
doing, brother?
Oh man, it's good hearing from Lamont again and knowing that he's doing okay. But look, man, every time I hear about these things, it goes back to when I saw Training Day. I believe that's the name of the movie. With the police and trying to cover up and everything and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It takes me back to when again with the Ronald Green situation, where the state police is trying to cover up exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I heard something on a radio station from Baton Rouge earlier today when this thing came out about, the videos that were found. From what the guy was talking about, as far as what the state police are saying, they're saying that they had this witness in a gold truck that claimed that he had to pull on the side because Lacey was driving, as fast as he was. And from what the state police are saying is that when this guy pulled on the side, the young lady that was driving the other car, even though she was talking about, eating Funyuns and not paying attention to what was going on, after he pulled on the side, she claimed that she had to swerve away from where he was, and that's what made her go into the other lane and ended up, in the accident with the guy that ended up, getting killed. And that's what they're claiming. I don't know, Agron mentioned about some black guy that might have been the witness. I don't know if that's the same guy or what, but that's what the police are saying, the state police are saying, and that's why they're talking about Kyron Lacey being part of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what their contention is that because he was driving so fast, he ended up causing all of these different chain reactions to occur, even though he was far ahead of, what actually happened and where the accident occurred. And, the like the lawyer was saying, if the lady had, just stopped, none of this stuff would have happened.
Well, he was not. He was nowhere. He was 72 yards
Yeah,
behind.
he was almost a football field further up along than when.
No, he was behind.
Happened,
he was not. The accident happened before he even got there. He was 72 yards behind it. He was not there.
That's even. Oh well, so I don't understand how these state police are going to be saying that this is what's occurring. And
well, you got some guy that's standing on his video on his body cam saying that guy in the Charger did it. He the one that caused it. Da 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 da.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't even make any sense. If that was the case, I thought he was in front of it.
And I'm hoping that they're not looking at this as a black-white case, because the guy that was telling the state troopers that the guy in the Charger caused it, he was black.
He was a black guy also, yeah. And see, that's what I don't understand, man, how these state police can come up with all of these different scenarios. And, of course, they all have each other's back. So, and that was the thing about the Ronald Green situation. When the black officer said he wasn't going for that, what they were trying to do, and ended up having to blackball him away from, being a state trooper. you would think that all these guys say, wait a minute, man, right is right, wrong is wrong. You can't just say because this man was that far ahead of what was going on that he was or behind what was going on that he was involved in anything. Why would he be arrested for that? The only thing you could have got him for is reckless driving. Like the lawyer McNair's mentioned earlier. It should have just been reckless driving that you would have costed him for. It shouldn't have caused him to be talked about going to jail and having to come up with bond money and all these other things. They should have never been involved. And see, that's one of the things that, as Brother Lamont was saying, that just brings back all of these different things that we have to deal with on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. We have to continually be keeping our head on the swivel, because when anything happens, we don't know what they're going to say. And these people seem to come up with these lies to make things convenient for themselves and don't take into any consideration about the people that is involved and how it's going to hurt the folks that you're lying about. So it's just one of these things, again, Gerard, that we have to deal with as Black people, and we just have to be aware and be prayed up that, things don't happen that's going to cause us to, be destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I agree.
Look, you just continue the great work, and we'll continue to listen.
Appreciate it, Don. Thank you, my friend.
All right, brother.
All right, talk to you in a minute. All right, we'll take the final break here before we have to get out. So get your calls in now at 504-582-9422. Final 15 coming up.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. It's day 7 of the government shutdown. While Congress argues over politics, everyday Americans are the ones losing. The Senate is back in session today. Both sides are still stuck. Democrats want to extend health care subsidies to stop Affordable Care Act premiums from skyrocketing by as much as 200%. Republicans say, first open the government, then we'll talk. House Democrats are trying to shake things up. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries publicly challenged Speaker Mike Johnson to a live debate, primetime, on the House floor. Johnson called it a stunt, but polls show most Americans blame President Trump and the GOP-controlled Congress for the shutdown. For the 750,000 federal workers without pay, from national parks to passport offices, the country is running on fumes, but Americans seem to be losing out. For these stories and more, go to AURN.com or follow me across social media at Ebony McMorris.
It's off the top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
I was talking with Lieutenant General Russell Honore the other day to get his take on the move by Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and the President, who ordered 800 senior U.S. military leaders to Washington, D.C. for an unusual and unprecedented group meeting. These high-ranking men and women were flown in from all around the world, leaving their command posts for a mandatory meeting, which, as it turns out, according to General Honore, could have just as easily been held via teleconference or simply shared by email. I watched the presentation by Hegseth and Trump in utter amazement. I was particularly troubled by Hegseth's suggestion that people of color were promoted on the basis of race and women were promoted based on their gender. That statement comes as no surprise, though, considering some 12 high-ranking military leaders have been fired since February, among them the Joint Chief of Staff Chairman General C.Q. Brown, a Black man, and Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Lisa Franchetti, a woman. Need I say more? Honore questions the notion that these people were fired because they were unqualified. The generals and admirals in the audience, with decades of experience, are the most highly trained and accomplished military leaders in the world, which cannot be said of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who only achieved the rank of major in the National Guard. He has not served a senior role in the military. He has no prior government experience. He has no record of national security policy, and he has never led a large organization, unlike the last 10 secretaries of defense. So, Compared to the resumes of the senior military leaders in the room to whom he was lecturing, Hegseth doesn't amount to a pimple on a gnat's ass. As for the message from President Trump, which drew backlash from several retired military commanders, he suggested that perhaps some of the so-called troubled cities in the country could be used as military training grounds. Critics are calling Trump out for attempting to politicize the military in an effort to further his domestic agenda. Moreover, the president is flirting with the Constitution, in which the founding fathers never intended for the military to serve a political party. It is therefore established to be nonpartisan and directed at foreign enemies and not American citizens. The meeting was a waste of taxpayer money when the president knew full well we were headed for a government shutdown, and it was an insult to our top uniformed officers. So, before the president considers more ill-informed and politically motivated military moves, we pray that our military leaders remember their oath is to the U.S. Constitution, not the president. This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show.
Our city thrives when every business has a fair chance. But when it comes to promoting equality, Helena Moreno has been anything but fair. In 2024, Moreno blocked a properly awarded sanitation contract to Black-owned Henry Consulting, giving the deal instead to a political supporter. Moreno opposed extending Richards Disposal's contract after nearly 20 years of service. It cost us $19 million more, all so she could favor a political ally. This year, Moreno refused to renew a 12-year marketing contract with the Black-owned Spirits Group. Moreno even refused permits for 4 Black-owned restaurants to locate in New Orleans East. And when one of the city's most transformative projects went to a vote, Moreno refused to fund the city's 50% share of the Black-owned Bayou Phoenix development. There's a warning. Moreno plays politics. Our city pays the price. Paid for by People for a Better New Orleans PAC.
After 28 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, Calvin Duncan established his innocence in a court of law. But Darren Lombard doesn't care about justice. He teamed up with Jeff Landry's attorney general to attack Calvin. They even sued him to stop him from talking about his innocence. According to Landry and Lombard, even if you're judged innocent, you're still guilty. Let's send Landry and Lombard a message. Vote number 7, Calvin Duncan.
Paid for by Calvin for clerk.
From the East Bank to the West Bank, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, this case should be, and I'm thinking it is picking up steam. I know that we heard from attorney Suzette Bagnaris. Everybody's evidently looking at this case and looking on social media where it's got over 35 million hits. But we need to make sure that we don't just let it go away. I've got every confidence in the world when we get all upset and we start talking about things. But I really feel that they have, and I'm talking about the other side, has done something that we may not be looking at. And that is to put time in between conversation and investigation. See, the conversation happens to spew those that are in some type of control to say, oh, we're going to have an investigation then. What gets me is when that investigation is announced, the time from the beginning of the investigation to the end of the investigation to announce what has been found is so lengthy. What happens then is the fact that we calm down. Oh, don't get them all riled up. They're going to want to march. They're going to want to protest. They're going to get on social media and tell it. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. We get upset, and they just sit there and wait for us to calm down. What's even worse is the fact that we find somebody in our community, whether it be somebody that's a leader or so-called leader or somebody of the cloth or somebody of another institution, that comes in our community and says, hey, settle down. We got to give them due process. No, we don't. They didn't give Kyron due process. The minute that it was announced, he was all over the media, all over ESPN, ABC, CBS. He was all over every national network saying that he was a criminal and that he was being charged in the death of a 78-year-old man, which was going to end his career. And it did. We have to look at this and say, if that happens and we calm down, then do we have the same type of, I guess, force and ferocity to make people do things when they're under pressure? Or do we all just trickle in? And I think a lot of folks have figured it out. Calm them down by saying you got to give us time. Think about that too. And no, Ed, we're not going to discuss that. She's a grown woman. She can do what she want to do. And what for? They ain't for no way. The interview that should be happening is why you left your job, not you, to become a radio host. Think about that one. All right, that's going to wrap things up for me. I appreciate everybody for being a part of the conversation. We'll see y'all later. We'll be back on tomorrow.
WBOK online at WBOK1230.com.